The 84 of Steve Baker is second with 451. The T8 of Mark Pennell third with 387. The 5 of Lou Bradish is fourth with 346. Bob Waring Sr. 50-50 raffle tickets for Children's Hospital will soon be going on sale in turn 4. All right, here we go. The Wolfset late models are ready to go. Off the fourth turn, their first qualifying heat is underway. Into turn 1, it's Ed Faree, your early leader. Side by side for second. Trying to make it get it a little too close down the back straightaway. Dennis Curry in the 10, back and forth. Car sideways, Nick Jones gets sideways. Stevie Baker moves through on the inside. He goes to second. It's Faree, your early leader. Baker up to second. Rodney Phillips in the 1P third. Richie Curry in car 3 trying to move to fourth on the outside of Nick Jones. Dennis Curry now in car 10, moves from 6th to 4th. In the last half lap, the KOS Realty, Tubbs Automotive 10. Car spinning, Dan Karolakis in car 14, spins in turn 2. The yellow is out. The yellow is out. All right, the Wolfset late models are back to green with 2 laps down. Off for 4 we go. It's Faree, now the rim rider, Stevie Baker to the outside in turn 2 in car 84 down the back straightaway. Into turn 3, they're side by side for the lead. Baker on the outside takes over the lead in car 84. Faree in the 4 now second. Curry up to third in the 10. Phillips in the 1P running fourth. And it's Nick Jones in the 09, Dan Karolakis in the 14, and the 3 of Richie Curry. Dennis Curry in car 10 starting to close in a bit on the 4 of Ed Faree. Curry might have bounced the wall a bit on the back straightaway in the 10. He was awfully close, running the high side. Still Steve Baker, followed by Ed Faree at the halfway point. 5 laps remaining, 5 to go. Richie Curry off the pace in car 3. 2 laps to go this time by. Steve Baker still your leader. Ed Faree in the 4 second. Curry in the 10 third. The 1P of Rodney Phillips fourth. And Nick Jones in the 09 fifth. White flag, final lap. Phil Lucon Red Fab, Burgettstown Auto Parts, 84, Steve Baker started last. Coming off the 4th turn, second in the Wolfset late model point standings, and he is your winner. Look at that, Dennis Curry losing the left rear wheel in car 10. Yellow will come out, but the checkered had waved for the 84 of Steve Baker. Faree second. Rodney Phillips will get third in the 1P, the 09 of Nick Jones fourth, and fifth the 14 of Dan Karolakis as Dennis Curry, late model racing in Western Pennsylvania on the dirt, lined up on his outside, picked up his first career win in the Wolfstead Late Models this year. Mike Johnson, who will do double duty tonight, he'll also be running in New York Limited Lates. He is the points leader there. Into the fourth turn they come. Off the fourth turn, the green is out. The end of turn one, Geisler grabs the lead. Johnson runs second. Petrucci in the 5 third. Burgess in the 34 fourth, and Racing John Mason wheels car 72 up into fifth. Here comes Mason working the low side in turn four. Up to fourth. And if you note, John Mason has got his C.J. Rayburn car here tonight. This is not the same car he's run here the past couple of weeks. He's been running a rocket car. Tonight it's the C.J. Rayburn chassis. He's in underneath the 5 of Mark Petrucci, trying to get third in turn four, and he's got it. 2 laps down, Geisler leading, Johnson second, Mason third, Petrucci fourth, Burgess runs fifth. Laps down, the lineup stays the same. Halfway now, 5 to go. Lynn Geisler, who won 2 weeks ago, the last regular race night, will start tonight's feature 12th. He'll be trying to charge to the front. He's definitely got the 1C down in here in the second heat race, starting on the pole by virtue of the draw, and is pulling away. Mike Johnson second now, and Racing John Mason looks like he's closed in a bit. Mason in the 72, closing in on the 2 of Mike Johnson for second. Petrucci in the 5 still fourth. Burgess in the 34 is fifth, and Johnny Johnson in car 48 closing in on that duo in turn 3. Johnson though high, close to the wall in turn 3 that time in the 48. Racing John Mason now trying to take second from Mike Johnson down the back straightaway. To the inside into turn 3, he'll have the runner-up spot. Johnson though comes right back at him in 3 and 4. 2 laps to go for Lynn Geisler, leading by a straightaway. White flag for Lynn Geisler. In the Cochran number 1, moving through turns 3 and 4, your Wolfstead late model point leader. Driving to the heat race win, Lynn Geisler. Racing John Mason second. Mike Johnson third. The 5 of Mark Petrucci fourth, and the 34 of Bobby Burgess completes the top 5. By the way, there's been a change. We're selling 50-50 tickets starting in turn 1. The 50-50 raffle tickets for Children's Hospital. They threw a curveball. They're going to start in turn 1 instead of turn. Ben Belich. Off the fourth turn, the green is out. The Georgetown General, Kip Moore, takes off with the lead. Bradish in the 5 second. Then it's Myers. Here comes Timmy hitting car 68. Kugel runs 5th, then Flinner, Miley, and Belich. John Flinner trying to work the inside in car 11 underneath Larry Kugel. Kip Moore, your leader, with Bradish 2nd. Tim Hitt 3rd. Myers 4th, and it's Flinner 5th. Timmy Hitt to the inside in turn 4, trying to take 2nd from Lou Bradish. Coming off of 4 down the front, straight away into 1. Hitt in the 68, putting the heat on the 5 of Lou Bradish. And behind him, it's Flinner in the 11 and Myers in the 57. Hitt again to the inside in turn 4, underneath the 5 of Lou Bradish. 3 laps down, Hitt to 2nd, that time down the front straightaway. If he can hold it. Hitt now into the 2nd spot by 4 car lengths with 6 laps remaining. Bradish in the 5 into the wall. Lou Bradish in car 5 into the wall in turn 1. And he'll come to a stop in turn 2. He hit it a pretty good lick. Back to green we go. The Georgetown General, Kip Moore in the 00, and Timmy Hitt in the 68. Bring the field off at turn 4. '57, Mark Myers is 3rd, the 11 of John Flinner 4th, the 41 of Larry Kugel runs 5th, and it's Ben Miley in car 99. Kip Moore, your leader off of turn 4 with Hitt in the 68 2nd. Flinner to 3rd now in car 11. Mark Myers in the 57 and Larry Kugel in the 41 racing for the 4th spot. In turn 2, they're side by side. Down the back straightaway, it's still Kip Moore, followed by Tim Hitt. Flinner 3rd. Kugel now 4th. Mark Myers is faded to 5th in car 57, with Ben Miley running 6th in the 99. 3 laps remaining, 3 to go. Tim Hitt starting to close in a bit on race leader Kip Moore. Hitt the quicker of the 2 getting into the corner. Moore may have the advantage coming off. White in the checkered out. 2 laps to go. Hitt now really starting to apply some pressure. Gets the car though a little sideways through 3 and 4, and Moore's able to open up some daylight with 1 lap to go. 1 to go. Flinner still 3rd, Kugel 4th, Mark Myers 5th, and Ben Miley in car 99. The Moore's Trucking, Murray Trucking, Harry's Unical 00 coming at you off of turn 4. The checkered flag is waving for the Georgetown General, Kip Moore. Tim Hitt 2nd. John Flinner 3rd, Larry Kugel 4th, and Mark Myers completes the top 5. Tim Schaefer is also a J&J, as is the Busch Sprint cars. Busch Sprint bonus night. Coming at you off the 4th turn, and we're underway. The green is out. Timmy Schaefer grabs the early lead in car 21. Schrum in the 51 moving into 2nd. Jamie Smith now on the move in car 5. He started last. He has moved his way into third. Comes your leader, Tim Schaefer, completing lap number 5. Schrum into 51, still second. Smith into 5, third. Running fourth, Howie Garvin in car 44. The 19 of Frank Stella is fifth. Two laps to go. Schaefer putting laps on the 4F of Jerry Frew, the 7 of John Stickling, the 33 of Brent Mattis. Takes the white flag, 1 lap to go. Into Performance and Accessories 21, your winner, Tim Schaefer, out of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. The race for second, closing up here. 51 of Jeff Schrum second, the 5 of Jamie Smith third. Coming home fourth will be the 44 of Howie Garvin, and then it's the 19 of Frank Stella. Off the fourth turn, Dunn and Johnson bring the field up to speed. The green is out. Mike Johnson in the 1J is your leader. The 14 of Ed Dunn second. Then it's Russ Colasar in car 8. The 11 of Charlie Jasinski is fourth. The 21 of Ron Myers runs fifth. Mike Johnson continues to lead. The 14 of Ed Dunn second, the 8 of Russ Colasar third. Then it's the 11A of Charlie Jasinski fourth, the 21 of Ron Myers still fifth. Race for second now. Russ Colasar in car 8 on the inside, moving into the second spot. Ed Dunn in the 14 third. The 11A of Charlie Jasinski is fourth. Ron Myers in the 21 still fifth. Then it's Brad Westover in the 31, the 50 of George Bland, and the 24 of Chuck Mowry. But Johnson continues to pull away at the halfway point. Colasar in the 8 getting up high off the fourth turn, and there goes Ed Dunn in the 14 into second. Charlie Jasinski in the 11 right behind Colasar now as those three cars tighten up in the race for the second, third, and fourth spots in turn 3. Here comes Jasinski to the outside in the 11A. Making a run at Russ Kolesar for third now. Jasinski up top, Kolesar down low. Here goes Charlie Jasinski in the 11, up to third. Kolesar to fourth in the 8. He's got handling problems in turns 3 and 4 in the car 8. Mike Johnson leading by more than a straightaway in the 1J. Through the third and fourth turn he comes. 2 laps to go this time by. The white and the checkered are out, 2 to go. Jasinski in the 11 and Kolesar in the 8, still going at it for that third spot. A white flag is waving. Off at turn 4, Mike Johnson your leader. 1 lap to go. Kim Oil, Imperial Hoist 1J, coming off the fourth turn. The checkered flag waves for Imperial's Mike Johnson, winning Heat 1 in New York Limited Late Models. Ed Dunn in the 14 second. The 8 of Russ Kolesar third. The 11A of Charlie Jasinski fourth. And the 21 of Ron Myers will complete the top 5. Up to speed off of turn 4, and the green is out. Rick Armstrong in the 29 drives off with the lead. Ed Murphy in the 0 and Ricky Thomas in the 99 battling for second. Armstrong are looking better and better out of Bloomingdale, Ohio in car 29 on an old Howe chassis that he's getting dialed in just about right here in the 29. They're near the top 5 now the past couple of weeks, looking for the win here in the heat race. Ed Murphy in the 0 also much improved this year. The Air Ground Express 0 runs second. 99, Ricky Thomas currently third in the point standings, running third in this heat. Matt Sherlock in the 15 is fourth, and it's the 6 of Jim Lepro in fifth. Thomas now to second in car 99. Dropping Eddie Murphy in the 0 to third. Halfway, 5 to go. Ricky Thomas in the 99 starting to close in on your leader, Rick Armstrong. Thomas now within about a car length as they enter turn 4, looks to the inside, side by side for the lead. Into turn 1, Rick Armstrong on the outside in the 29, Ricky Thomas in the 99. We've got a car spinning here in turn 4. Yellow is out for the 6 of Jim Lepro. Off the fourth turn, the green is out, and the man who was running third goes to first. Car 0, Eddie Murphy. Got a hold of things on the bottom of the fourth turn. Eddie Murphy, your leader. Let's see what he can do with the hot spot. Off the fourth turn, Thomas in the 99 back to the inside. Here he comes down the bottom of the groove into turn 1. Ricky Thomas in front now in car 99. Third different leader. Two laps to go, not quite. We'll have one to go this time by. Ricky Thomas, your leader off the fourth turn, the white flag, 1 lap to go. L. Thomas Body Shop out of Carnegie. Restart Ricky Thomas. Third in the York Limited Late Model point standings. Off the fourth turn, and he's your winner. Eddie Murphy second, Rick Armstrong third, Matt Sherlock fourth, and Jim Lepro in the sixth completes the top 5. Mike Morgan in car 83, a rookie driver. Bring the field up to speed. John Beatty to his outside in the 04. Not in sync to this point. Let's see what happens as they come off the fourth turn. No go, says starter Greg Wheeling. Trap. Up to speed, the green comes out. Beatty quickly takes the lead in the 04. Burgess in the 26 into second. Look at Bill Yakin in the middle in the 10. It's Crawford in the 9C30. Yakin in the 10 runs fourth. Through 3 and 4, John Beatty up high. Here comes Jim Burgess in the 26 to the low side. He's your new leader. Wheel to wheel for second, and Yakin in the 10 moving into the second spot into turn 1. Beatty comes back at him on the low side in the 04. 9C Doug Crawford running fourth. Minnick in the 75 into fifth now. Bill Yakin in car 10 closing in on race leader Jim Burgess in the fourth turn. He dives to the inside, slingshots his way past down the front chute. The Jokes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10 of Bill Yakin. Your new leader with Jim Burgess second. The race is now for third between Beatty in the 04, Minnick in the 75, and Crawford in the 9C. Mel Minnick down low in the bottom of the racetrack, takes over third. But once he got the lead, it hasn't taken him long to pull away. Car 10, Bill Yakin. Making some bacon with 6 laps to go. And Mel Minnick Jr. on the charge in the 75. Into second. We're at the halfway point, 5 laps remaining. The spectator stocks are up next. 2 laps remaining. The white and the checkered out. Bill Yakin continues to set the pace with Mel Minnick second. Crawford third. 26 Jim Burgess fourth, and the 04 of John Beatty runs fifth. One lap remaining. Off the fourth turn, the Jukes Body Shop Cox Machine 10 of Bill Yakin is your winner. Second will go to Mel Minnick. Doug Crawford, the 9C, close third. Jimmy Burgess in the 26 fourth, and fifth, the 04 of John Beatty. Off the turn 4, the green is back out. Spectator stock heat race underway. Off the fourth turn, 1 lap down, Ralph Highsong, your leader. Bob Heim in the 92 second, Wee Willie White in the 55 third, and it's the 18 of Don Briggs. Stush Sadowski having his best run in the 57. He's running fifth. Dave Beck in the 63, trailing some smoke. He's running in the 6th position. Stush Sadowski on the outside in the 57, trying to take 4th. Bob Heim in the 92 has closed in on race leader Ralph Highsong Jr. And behind him comes the 55 of Wee Willie White. He has street tires on the spectator stocks. They do a pretty good job. You get them all here with a feature. They'll put on some great side-by-side racing action. Stush Sadowski's 4th place runs. Comes to a halt as he spins in turn 4, but he turns her back around and the green stays out. Don Briggs now 4th in car 18. The 63 of Dave Beck is 5th. Bob Heim taking over the lead in car 92. The Lowry's Run Automotive 92 into the lead. The Highsong Sitco 09 of Ralph Highsong Jr. now 2nd. Then the Cumps Lounge. Three Rivers Coin 55 of Wee Willie White. Mr. Consistency. Wee Willie's been in the top 5 a number of weeks in a row. Two laps to go. White flag, final lap. Bob Heim in control here with Ralph Highsong and Willie White in the chase. Don Briggs in the 18th, 4th, and it's Dave Beck in the 63, the 37 of Tom Baldy, Danny Rich is 67, and the 57 of Stush Sadowski. Off a turn 4, checkered flag, spectator stock heat race number 1 to the Lowry's Run Automotive, 92 of Bob Heim. Highsong 2nd, White 3rd. 18 Don Briggs 4th, and Dave Beck in the 63 completes the top 5. 6 and Pete Laurie in the 11 bring the field up to speed off the 4th turn. And the green is out. Down the front straightaway, like a traffic jam on the Parkway. Eric Kelchner in the 6 got a rude awakening to racing. He was just sort of running around in the back of the pack last week. Tonight he starts on the pole, and 6 cars go by him down the front straightaway. Here goes Pete Laurie in the 11, trying to take the lead in turn 3. 91 Mike Ross hot on his tail. Zarin in the 1C, Opatch in the 51 running together as well. Jim Zarin in the 1C trying to get second off turn 2. Into second comes Jim Zarin in the 1C. Broniszewski in the 10. Now trying to take over third from the 91 of Mike Ross. Jim Zarin in the 1C making tracks for the 11 of Pete Laurie out in front. Broniszewski up to third now in the 10. Here comes Zarin to the low side down the front straightaway. Into 1, little paint exchange for the lead in turn 1. Pete Laurie in the 11 holding off the 1C of Jim Zarin. Jeff Broniszewski in the 10th, third, then the 91 of Mike Ross, the 51 of Ron Opatch in 5th. Jim Steffens in the 38 joins the fight. In car 38, he runs 6th, then it's back to the 40 of Paul Curry and the 6 of Eric Kelchner at the halfway point. Coming at you off of turn 4, Pete Laurie in the 11. Trying to hold on to the lead. Jim Zarin in the 1C. Again to the inside as they head into turn 1. Jeff Broniszewski in the 10, third. '91 Mike Ross and Ron Opatch in the 51 side by side for fourth. Off of turn 4, we may have a new leader. Let's see what happens down the front straightaway into turn 1. Nip and tuck. Zarin makes the pass in the 1C, but Laurie tries the slingshot back underneath him in turn 2 in the 11. Into 3 and 4, it's still Jim Zarin now in the Cochran West 1C out in front. White flag is waving. Pete Laurie comes to the inside. He's going to try and return the favor here. The Tony Del BP Auto Trader 11. Broniszewski's 10 third. Opatch in the 51 fourth. Here goes Pete Laurie off the second turn on the inside, trying to get the lead back as we race to the checkered flag. Laurie has the lead back into turn 3. Let's watch him come off the 4th turn. Off of turn 4, checkered flag. Who's it going to be? Jim Zarin in the 1C, your winner. '11 Pete Laurie is second. Third heat for the spectator stocks underway. John Ponicvar in the 16 and Andy Catellis the 64. The good friends fighting for the lead. Oh, we got a car sliding into the inside guardrail on the back straightaway. The 12 of Rob Damron right before the pin entrance on the back chute. And another car, Jesse Exler in the 22E with a problem turn 4. Forward to seeing that on young Mike Johnson. Spectator stocks ready to go off of turn 4 as we've got the guardrail fixed. Back to green. John Ponicvar is your leader in car 16. Rick Wachter in the 93X second, Russ Matique in the 17M third, then the 64 of Andy Catellus and the R49 of Jim Crossland. John Ponigvar, your leader in the 16. He is second in the point standings right now to the man who's chasing him, the 93X of Rick Wachter. 64, Andy Catellus third. Russ Matique is 17th, fourth. He had his career best finish last week in the top 5, and the R49 of Jim Crossland running 5th. Modifieds are up next. Rick Wachter really putting her on the bottom and through 3 and 4. The 93X trying to make tracks on race leader John Ponigvar. At the halfway point, 4 laps to go. Two laps remaining, 2 to go. White flag now. Ponigvar, your leader in the 16. He'll pick up a couple of points if he can hold on here on Rick Wachter in the battle for the points championship. Ponigvar to Pittsburgh, Wachter out of Beaver in the 93X trying to close in here. Final lap, final turn, and your winner is John Ponigvar. Rick Wachter second, Andy Catellus third. Russ Matique is 17M fourth, and coming home fifth, the R49 of Jim Crossland. Don Luffy. From Finleyville in the 43, Fred Varney. Don Plans from Georgetown, the 02. Mark Oberzinski from Library in the 61. And from Weirton in the 84, Jim Petrell. The modifieds are underway. Kurt Habadell, your leader in the 75. Or is he? Yes, he's got the advantage down the back straightaway with Jim Dandy in second. Swinging Sammy's down, the 75X is third in the point standings. He'll be in the next heat. Here comes Jim Dandy Jr. to the inside, and he puts the Chrysler into the lead. Through the turns, Jim Dandy Jr. His car always right in the middle of the racetrack. Kurt Habadell in the 75 second. Don Luffy third. Fred Varney in fourth in car 43. Fifth to 61 of Mark Oberzinski. Marsh Auto Salvage, the sponsors of the 19. It's an outlaw chassis. He currently leads the modified Skoal Challenge Series, a tri-state series between Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio. That's Jim Dandy Jr. in the 19. Kurt Habadell, who leads the point standings in the 75 here at Pittsburgh, running second. Mark Oberzinski in the 61 trying to take fifth away from Fred Varney in the 43, and they're in turn 4. We're halfway past the halfway point with 4 laps down. Kurt Havedale, 360-degree spin in turn 4, and he keeps her straight. Can he get it back up to speed? He comes to a stop right now. The yellow is out for the 75 of Kurt Havedale. 42, the McCain Corporation 42 of Don Luffy. In the turn 4 on the hammer, and the green comes out another time. 3 laps to go. Two to go, Jim Dandy Jr. Final lap. A race for second. Don Luffy in the 42 and Mark Oberzinski in the 61. Havedale has already stormed to 4th in car 75 after spinning earlier. Checkered flag for Jim Dandy Jr. The race for second goes to Don Luffy. Mark Oberzinski 3rd, Kurt Havedale 4th, Fred Varney 5th. Then it's Don Plants and Jim Petrell. First year for this division, the unmodified. He, of course, has run with the semi-lates and the late models in the past, picking up the ride in the Walt Smith 75X. Here they come up to speed off the 4th turn. No go, says Greg Wheeling, our flagman. They got started a little too early that time. We'll try it another time. All right, here we go. Let's hope. Final heat race of the night for the unmodifieds. Dave McManus in the 17. Chris Dixon the 37 bring the field off of turn number 4. All right, off the 4th turn, and this time the green is out. Down the front straightaway, it's Chris Dixon taking the lead in car 37. McManus in the 17 second, then Bernie Potanowick in the 36. Jimmy Plants in car 40. Runs 4th. Charlier in the 11 moves into the 5th spot. Charlier in the 11 trying to work a lower line. Out in front, it's still Chris Dixon in car 37. McManus 2nd, Potanowick 3rd off the pace. Dale Charlier in the 11. Dave from Darren Miller now 5th, and Sammy's down to 75, although that might be Matt Smith again driving the car tonight in the heat race. Chris Dixon has opened up a big lead with Bernie Potanowick 2nd in the 36 now. 2 laps down. Laps down. Halfway, 4 laps remaining. Chris Dixon, still your leader. Bernie Potanowick 2nd, Dave McManus 3rd, car spinning in turn 2. Matt Smith in the 75 spins around, the yellow flag is out. All right, here we go again. 4 laps remaining. Chris Dixon in the 37 brings the field back to speed. Looks like there's a for sale sign on the 36 of Bernie Potanowick. Someone maybe wanting to get into the racing, the modifieds. It's a pretty good running car. Bernie has a win here this year. Trying to pick up a win in the heat, chasing the 37 of Chris Dixon. Jimmy Plants in the 40 is third. Dave McManus in the 17 has slipped to fourth, and Darren Miller in the 16 runs fifth. Two laps remaining, 2 to go. Final lap. Chris Dixon has been your leader from early on here out of Marietta, Ohio in car 37. Right through the middle groove off the 4th turn. Checkered flag for Chris Dixon. Bernie Potanowick second, Jimmy Plants third, Dave McManus fourth, and Darren Miller completes the top 5 in car number 16. All right, I've got 2 passes to give said late models. Look for the green flag the next time by. Pair of pliers laying on the front straightaway. Get those taken care of. All right, here we go. Larry Kugel in the 41 and Mark Petrucci in the 5 bring the field around. 20 laps for the Wolfstead late models on Calusi Chevrolet Busch Sprint bonus night at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Keep your eye in the middle of the pack where some of the heavy hitters are parked as we get set to go. Rolling off the 4th turn, the green flag is out and the Wolfstead late models are underway, and right away we've got problems on the front straightaway. Larry Kugel in car 41, slow at the start. Larry Kugel, who was starting on the pole, had problems right at the start, and behind him they bunched up. A couple of cars spinning around, hopefully nobody serious. Tim hit in car 68, climbs from his. Dan Karalegas in the 14. Five cars unable to continue after that first lap accident. All right, here come the Wolfstead late models for the second try. Mark Petrucci in the 5, John Flinner in the 11 bring the field around. A Calusi Chevrolet night. The green is back out. And they head into turn 1. Petrucci is your early leader. Flinner in the 11 second, Moore runs third, Geisler in the 1C, and Phillips in the 1 running 4th and 5th. Trying to get the first of 20 in the books off of turn 4. John Flinner takes the lead, exiting turn 4 down the front straightaway in car number 11. Petrucci in the 5 second, Moore in the 00 third, Geisler is 4th. Running 5th now, Bobby Burgess in car 34. Watch the back of the pack. John Mason and Steve Baker trying to work their way toward the front, along with the 4 of Ed Faree. Out in front, it's still John Flinner, Mark Petrucci, Kip Moore, and Lynn Geisler. Geisler now tries the outside of Kip Moore as they race for 3rd and 4th, right in front of number 5 of Mark Petrucci. Faree and Mason continue their way to the front. They're down in the middle of the pack in turn 3. Geisler trying again to take 3rd for Moore. The man on the move is racing John Mason in car 72. With 4 laps down, Geisler around Moore on the outside to 3rd. John Flinner still your leader. Petrucci is 2nd in the 5. Geisler now 3rd, trying to get 2nd in turn 4. 5 laps down into turn 1, side by side for the 2nd spot. Down the back straightaway, Mark Petrucci still 2nd in car 5. Geisler again pressures him on the bottom. Moore running 4th, Burgess 5th. Mason is already to 6th in car 72. Geisler again to the inside off of turn 2. Can't make 2nd this time. Petrucci in the 5 running strong. Out in front, it's the D11 of John Flinner. Here comes Mason to 5th. John Mason into the top 5 as Lynn Geisler moves to 2nd. Geisler now to 2nd. John Flinner. And the D&T Automotive, H.E. Oman Concrete Contractors, D11 has been your leader since the start. Geisler now 2nd, Petrucci 3rd, Moore is 4th, Mason runs 5th, Burgess 6th, Johnson 7th, Faree is running 8th, and Baker 9th. Running 10th is Rodney Phillips in the 1P. Geisler quickly closing in on John Flinner down the back straightaway. Within a car length of your leader in turn 3. Coming at you off of 4. Geisler to the inside with 11 laps to go. In turns 1 and 2, John Flinner still your leader. Geisler 2nd. Petrucci in the 5, 3rd. Kip Moore 4th, and John Mason 5th. Look at Mason in turn 3. He's coming. Mason is now to 4th, and Geisler tries to take the lead. No, says John Flinner. Yellow is out. 69, Danny Burns spinning in turn 1 to bring out the caution. Driver improving the most from his starting position to finishing position. All right, Flinner takes off. Geisler is right with him. Watch them roll through 3 and 4. Geisler on the outside takes the lead. Petrucci may get 2nd. Off of turn 2, Geisler opens up some daylight. Petrucci 2nd. Flinner and Mason all together. Moore still runs 5th. Ed Faree charging up through on the inside in car 4. Spin in turn 3. Spin in turn 3. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Here we go. Geisler holds them in. Now he goes. Off the 4th turn, the green rolls, and the Wolf's Head late models head into turn 1. Yellow is out. Somebody in the back of the pack caught jumping. Someone in the back of the pack. It's Miles Chamberlain off the pace in car 87, headed for the pits. The green drops. Coming off the 4th turn another time with 10 laps to go for the Wolf's Head late models. Look at Ed Faree get in on the battle in car 4. He too has come from the back of the pack. There goes Mason to 2nd. Petrucci in the 5 spins 360 degrees. Now Moore spins. They might have just touched. Miraculously, everybody gets by, and Kip Moore will be, unfortunately, the cause of the caution as Mark Petrucci in the 5 kept her going. Almost. Here we go. Whoa, they're slamming and bamming in turn 3 and 4. The green is out. Coming off a fourth turn. Geisler takes the lead. Into turn 1. Flinner second, side by side for third. John Mason and Ed Ferree down the back straightaway. Hold on to your hats as they enter turn 3. Let's make it 3 wide. Here comes John Mason through on the inside to second. Flinner third, Ferree is fourth. Burgess runs fifth, Baker sixth. Lynn Geisler opening up some daylight. Ed Ferree now in car 4 tries to move to third. In turn 3, he's on the inside of John Flinner. Baker has moved to fifth in car 84. Flinner still third in the D11, holding off the 4 of Ed Ferree. Seven laps to go. Car close to the wall in turn 4. The 34 of Bobby Burgess brings it down unscathed, but several spots back. Ed Ferree in car 4 another time off the second turn, makes a run at John Flinner into turn 3. Geisler still your leader with Mason second. Flinner still third, Ferree fourth, and Steve Baker fifth. Ben Miley has come to sixth in the 99. Johnny Johnson is seventh. Mark Myers in the 57 runs eighth. Rodney Phillips in the 1P ninth, and the 34 Bob Burgess is 10th. 5 laps to go, and it looks like Lynn Geisler may have enough for John Mason again here tonight. Mason unable to close in on Geisler. The lead remains about a half a straightaway. Remaining, 3 to go. The white and the checkered around, 2 laps to go. John Mason still second. John Flinner third, Ed Ferree fourth, Steve Baker fifth, Ben Miley sixth. Mark Myers seventh, Johnny Johnson eighth, Rodney Phillips ninth, and Bobby Burgess 10th that time by. White flag is waving for the Cochrane number 1 of Lynn Geisler. Well, at the halfway point, it looked like it was anybody's ball game, but once the 1C got going, there was no stopping him here tonight as he rolls through turns 3 and 4. The checkered flag is waving the 8th time this year at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway for Lynn Geisler. John Mason second. John Flinner third, Ed Ferree fourth, Steve Baker fifth, Ben Miley sixth. Mark Myers in the 57 is 7th. Bobby Burgess 8th. Rodney Phillips 9th. And John Johnson completes your top 10. He'll now head to the Coors Extra Gold Weigh-In Center to make it all official.
I gotta find a new place where the kids are hip. My buddies and me, you're getting real well known. Yeah, the bad guys know us and they leave us alone.
All righty, let's wait till he takes that headgear off. 8th time in 1993. 8 wins here at Pittsburgh, 8 at Lernerville, 1 at the Challenger, 17 feature wins. Put your hands together for Lynn Geisler. On that now is 49 career wins at Pittsburgh for Lynn. He, of course, the career leader in the late model division, 1 away from 50.
Definitely had it hooked up tonight.
Eighth wins for Lynn. We said he sewed up the Pittsburgh Super Series championship last week and has a commanding lead in the Wolf's Head late model point standings as well, looking to win back-to-back titles here at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. He also has a 4-point lead over Dick Barton at the Lernerville Speedway going into the final night for points this coming Friday. That should be action-packed.
Well, we meet again. Now, I have to ask you this. You had a run of bad luck last week. Your number 2 son was up in Maine vacationing. He's back. You're winning. What's that mean?
It means he spent all my money up in Maine, so I had to do something to help myself. It just was unfortunate last week. A couple of things went on. I kept out of the accident this week. It looked like the same thing was going to happen again, but it didn't, and we made for a good race. I guess last week, it's a shame a lot of the good cars got taken out right there in the beginning, and I really think tire went down or something. It wasn't John's fault or anybody's fault.
You have 49 wins. You continue to make money, and you and Jack Crow and Lernerville Speedway donate to Chuck Ward. He's got to be your biggest fan, and he's a sprint guy.
Yeah, but hey, he's a racer, and I can use the help. And I started out sprint racing, and I know what it can be. I was on my head more than once, and kind of got smart and got out of that deal. But I'd like to thank Tim Calusi, too. It's the first time I've had a chance to meet him and his family out here. It's nice to see some people supporting this sport because it's really what it takes. Not just with Cochran, it's all of the people that support the sport. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks again.
Lynn, were you aware of the fact that John Mason was behind you and you really had him covered? I mean, you had a nice lead.
I knew he was there, and I knew from watching in the heat race that he was pretty good. And I really kind of try not to pay too much attention who's back there. They come up there, then they'll have to work at it, or I'll have to work at it. But I try not to pay too much attention to that. But there are a lot of good cars showing up here.
Okay, congratulations on another win.
Thank you very much.
All right, Lynn Geisler, number 8 this year, 49 career wins in the late model division here at Pittsburgh. 9T from Carnegie, Ricky Thomas. Outside is the 10 of Bill Yakin. Then it's the 14 of Ed Dunn and the 75 of Mel Minnick Jr. Car 8, Russ Colasar, and the 29 of Rick Armstrong. 29C, Doug Crawford, the 11 of Charlie Jasinski, and the 15 of Matt Sherlock. Your York Limited Late Model points leader, Mike Johnson, lines up 12th in the 1J. Then the 21 of Ron Myers and the 26 of Jim Burgess. Jim Lapro in the 6 and the 04 of John Beatty are next in line. After that, the 31 of Brad Westover and the 36 of Mark Ferguson, 83 Mike Morgan, and 24 Chuck Mowry. George Bland in the 50, Denny Prusi the 22, and the 20 of Jason Sisson. We are ready to go. York Heating and Air Conditioning, limited late models. Sponsored by the York dealers. Understand we've got a couple of cars out of line, so we'll try it again. Starter Greg Wheeling with the green flag pointing to the sky. We want to see him nice and tight coming off the 4th turn as they start to accelerate. The green is out, and the York Limited Late Models are underway. Down the front straightaway like a crowded freight train. Into turn 1. Thomas and Yakin wheel to wheel for the lead off of 2 down the back straightaway. They're still running side by side in turn 4. Down the front chute. Ricky Thomas with the lead at the end of lap 1. Now it's Yakin in front in turns 1 and 2. The 10 of Bill Yakin got the upper hand. Ed Dunn running third in car 14. Colasar in the 8 and Jasinski in the 11 behind him. Dunn with a bobble that time in 3 and 4. He'll lose a couple of spots. Bill Yakin and Ricky Thomas continue their battle for the top spot. They're down the back straightaway, running 1 and 2. Jasinski in the 11 is up to third. Colasar in the 8 fourth. Minnick in the 75 runs fifth. Car 20, Jason Sisson off the pace here on the front straightaway. He heads for the pits. Bill Yakin is still your leader in car 10. 99, Ricky Thomas second. 11, Charlie Jasinski third. Colasar in the 8 fourth. Mel Minnick in the 75 fifth. Then it's Doug Crawford's 9C6. Mike Johnson has moved to 7th in the 1J. Ed Dunn in the 14 is 8th. Then it's Rick Armstrong in the 29 ninth and Matt Sherlock in the 15 running 10th. 5 laps complete, 5 down. The race for third tightening up. Russ Colasar in the 8th to the inside of Charlie Jasinski's 11 and 3 and 4. Bill Yakin still your leader by just 2 car lengths over the 99T of Ricky Thomas. Mike Johnson now moving up into 6th in the 1J. New York Limited Late Model point leader, trying to work his way back to the front. Second and third in the point standings, Bill Yakin and Ricky Thomas leading the way here. They started on the front row by virtue of winning their heat races and the straight-up start that was drawn in the pits. Mike Johnson now into 5th in the 1J as he gets by the 75 of Mel Minnick Jr. Jimmy Burgess pitting in car 26. Nine laps complete, almost halfway. Ricky Thomas continues to apply the pressure to the 10 of Bill Yakin as they come off the 4th turn at the halfway point. 10 laps to go. Into 1. It's still Yakin, followed by Thomas. Johnson now up to 4th in the 1J. Around the 8 of Russ Colasar. Your leaders coming off of turn 4 with 9 laps to go. More lap traffic in the pass of your leaders in just a couple of more circuits here. They're closing in on the 50 of George Bland and the 24 of Chuck Mowry. Yakin has opened up a little bit of daylight in front in the 10, his biggest lead of the night. The race is now for third. Mike Johnson in the 1J. Cars together in turn 4. The caution is out. Caution is out. 31, Brad Westover. York Limited Late Models ready to return to action with 8 laps to go. That big lead that Yakin and Thomas had opened up is now gone. Charlie Jasinski slow on the start in car 11. Ricky Thomas with a problem in the 99, and Mike Johnson is now second in the 1J. The 11 of Charlie Jasinski and Ricky Thomas in the 99 both with a problem on the start. It's now Bill Yakin, your leader, and Mike Johnson is second. Your top 2 point men. Running inverted right now. Point leader Johnson second. Second place point man Yakin leading the way. Mel Minnick Jr. 75 is third. 8 Russ Colasar fourth. And the 29 of Rick Armstrong runs fifth. We've got 6 laps to go when they combine. 6 remaining. The Jukes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10. Bill Yakin up high in turn 1. The Imperial Hoist, Kim Oil 1, J. Mike Johnson to the inside. Yakin holds him off down the back straightaway into turn 3. Still Yakin your leader this time by 5 to go. Mel Minnick running third in the 75. Colasar in the 8 fourth. Armstrong in the 29 fifth. Jasinski back to 60 11th. Crawford the 9C and Beatty in the 04 next. Then Sherlock and Lapro. Here comes Johnson trying the inside off of 4. Yakin's in the fast lane. He's your leader. No room for error for Bill Yakin. He's feeling the pressure from Mike Johnson. Through 3 and 4, coming for lap 17, 3 to go. 3 laps remaining. Still Bill Yakin, followed by Mike Johnson. Mel Minnick is third. Russ Colasar fourth, and Rick Armstrong runs fifth. The white and the checkered are out. 2 laps to go, 2 remaining. Johnson tries to draw alongside in turn 2, but can't make it. Off of 4, it's still Yakin to the white flag. 1 to go. Final lap. Yakin's lead 2 car lengths off of 2, but Johnson closes in into 3. Mike Johnson tries the inside. He gets the car sideways, tries to hang on. It's going to be Bill Yakin in the Jukes Body Shop. Cox Machine 10 the winner with Mike Johnson second. Mel Minnick third, Russ Colasar fourth, and Rick Armstrong completes the top 5. $113 goes to Children's Hospital. Jukes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10, Bullet Chassis. The pilot is Bill Yakin. Don, as you were mentioned earlier in the night, Bill is a 2-time winner of the Fall Classic 40, and he and Mike Johnson have got to be probably 2 of the favorites going in.
If I was a gambler and I was betting on that race, there'd be 2 of the guys I'd put the money on.
All right, he's out of the car now. Put your hands together for your York Limited Late Model feature winner, Bill Yakin, picking up the trophy tonight from Calusi Chevrolet, just off the Bridgeville exit of I-79. Calusi Chevrolet Geo.
You know, I don't want to keep you out of the picture here, but I viewed you earlier, and I think maybe I had you good luck.
View me every week, man.
That's a deal.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Going to get the family portrait here. While we got a minute, I want to talk some more with Jook. You know, we mentioned earlier You've had Davey Johnson as a driver and Bucky Johnson. And another one of Johnson's is pretty tough, and that's Mike. And this had to be a especially sweet victory.
Yes, it was. Well, we're just like family, all of us, the Johnsons and the Thomases and myself. We've, the dads and us have raced together all these years, and now the kids are up, and a lot of the kids drove my car. And either one of those boys, Ricky or Mikey, I wouldn't be ashamed to put them in either one of my cars. They're both real good drivers, and to run with them and beat them makes you feel good.
Congratulations. Bill, come on over here. You got 5 wins. Cars looking good. The Bill Yakin Benefit / Fall Classics coming up. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I got to give them guys a lot of credit for working on the car. They've been making the car go fast every week. And I'd like to thank Clusy Chevrolet in York for this, too. And, yeah, Joke's been keeping it up and putting new stuff in the car, and it looks good for the Bill Yakin Benefit race.
You know, for many years, Jooks had quite an impressive list of drivers, and when you got into this ride here, it was kind of a nice deal for you because you didn't have to own your own car anymore.
Yeah, and I get the rest all week, too.
You got to quit sleeping in on Saturday mornings. Congratulations on a good job.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Don, and congratulations to Bill Yakin, our York Limited Late Feature winner. Dixon, Jim Dandy Jr. the 19, Kurt Haberthel on the 75, Dave McManus 17, Fred Varney 43, 16 Darren Miller, Don Plants in the 40, or the 02, excuse me, 84 Jim Petrell, and the 75X of swinging Sammy Stow. Modifieds are underway. Oh, they're crowded in turn 2, really crowded, off at 2 down the back straightaway. One lap down. Two laps down. Jimmy Plants looking strong in car 40, getting better and better. He's your leader. Bernie Patanowick second. Jim Dandy Jr. the 19, a close third. And then it's the 37 of Chris Dixon. The 42 of Don Luffy is fifth. Chris Dixon in the 37 up high through 3 and 4. And he brings her back down still in the 4th spot. Jim Dandy Jr. trying to take second from the 36 of Bernie Patanowick in turn 1. Dandy, as he always does, gets that car to work down on the bottom of the racetrack in the 19, but Patanowick on the outside battles back around him. Jim Dandy Jr. and Bernie Patanowick continue that battle for second, off at 2 down the back straightaway. Chris Dixon in the 37's right back with him, making it a 3-car dogfight. Jimmy Plants in the Classic Motors 40 out in front, showing the way. 5 laps down. Jimmy Plants in car 40, your leader. Oh, he gets sideways. Look out. Patanowick and Dandy get through on the bottom. Jim Dandy Jr. and Bernie Patanowick racing for the lead now. Jimmy Plants bobbled off at 2 down the back straightaway in the 40, and it's Jim Dandy Jr., your leader. Bernie Patanowick trying to get back around him on the outside into turn 1. Chris Dixon in the 37 runs third. The 40 of Jimmy Plants is fourth now. Don Luffy's 42 fifth. Then Dave McManus, Sammy Stow, Kurt Haberthel, Darren Miller, Mark Obrzezinski, Don Plants, Fred Varney, and Jim Petrell completes the field. 7 laps down. Dandy Jr. starting to open up a bit of a lead now in the Marsh Auto Salvage number 19. Chris Dixon in the 37 to the inside, trying to take second from the 36 of Bernie Potanowick. We're at the halfway point. 8 down, soon to be 9. Jim Dandy Jr. pulling away with 5 laps remaining. The battle for second. Dixon in the 37 to the inside of Bernie Potanowick's 36. In turn 1, Dixon able to get the advantage going into the corners, but coming off, Potanowick's been able to hold him off. Laps complete, 3 remaining. Bernie Potanowick still in that second spot, holding off the challenge of Chris Dixon. The race is now for 5th. Swinging Sammy Stow in the 75X, making the pass of the 42 of Don Luffy. Stow, who started last, now into the top 5. Two laps to go. White flag waving for Jim Dandy Jr. Bernie Potanowick second and Chris Dixon third. Jim Plants still fourth. Sammy Stow, though, applying the heat there. Final lap. No, we got the yellow. Mark Obrzezinski in car 61 in turn 3, sitting in a pile of smoke right now. All righty, back to green. With 2 laps to the cash. Jim Dandy Jr. on the outside resumes the lead. Into turn 1 they roll. Potanowick still second. Then it's Chris Dixon. Here comes swinging Sammy Stow in the 75. And Jimmy Plants in the 40, staying right in the thick of the battle as well. Stow to the inside in the 75. White flag is waving for Jim Dandy Jr. Marsh Auto Salvage 19 rolls into turn 3. Final lap. Off the 4th turn. Victory number 9 in the unmodifieds at Pittsburgh for Jim Dandy Jr. Potanowick second, Dixon third, Stow fourth. Jimmy Plants in car 40 completing the top 5.
Jim Dandy, go Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy on a mountain top, 30,000 feet drop. Spot a lady on a runaway horse. Aha, that's right, of course. Jim Dandy to the rescue. Go Jim Dandy, go Jim Dandy.
All right, put your hands together for your modified feature winner from Niles, Ohio, Jim Dandy Jr.
They want to know when you're going to dance to your song here in Victory Lane.
I didn't even dance at my wedding.
I got to ask you about the hat. A lot of people want to know story behind the hat. Looks like it's been to a lot of racetrack.
Yeah, I've had this hat since I was a sophomore in high school, and I've been out of school for 11 years now, so it's been around a while.
Is it your lucky hat, or do you just need another one? I can give you this one.
No, this is the lucky one. We can't get rid of it.
You have 9 wins in 2 seconds. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you are the leading feature winner here at the Speedway. Lynn Geisler and Mike Johnson have 8 each. You're in pretty good company.
That's good to know, I guess. That's pretty good company.
Congratulations on another nice job.
Thank you.
Dow?
All right, Don, thank you. And the Chrysler Wee Willie White and 10 Jeff Broniszewski are row 4. Then it's the 64 of Andy Catellus and the 18 of Don Briggs, 17 Russ Matique, and 51 Ron O'Patchin. Rob Damron and R49 Jim Crossland on them will make it for the start on Calusi Chevrolet Geo Night. Here at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, the spectator stocks are back to speed. Their feature event, 15 laps underway. Into turn number 1. The thrill show begins. Rick Wachter in car 93, extra point leader, taking the lead down the back straightaway. 2 cars hooked together, the 91 of Mike Ross and the 18 of Don Briggs. They break free. Everybody gets by. They're slicing and dicing off the 4th turn. And in the middle of 3 and 4, we got a couple of cars together. Jim Stevens in the 38 and Danny Rich in the 67 are parked in turn 3. 1 lap down, ready to go back to green. Green is out. Pete Loria on the outside taking over the lead in car number 11. Rick Walker, the 93X, runs second. Then it's the 1C of Jim Zarin, the 16 of John Poningbar, Wee Willie White to 5th in car 55. Tell you what, all night long, you'll not find any closer racing than what the spectator stocks put on, that's for sure. Wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper. Pete Loria, still your leader. Rick Wachter continues. The inside line in the 93X. 1C Jim Zarin, 3rd. John Poningbar, the 16, right there in 4th. Then it's back away to the 55 of Wee Willie White. There goes Zarin on the outside. Wachter tries the inside. Zarin up high in the 1C, trying to get second. And he's got it into turn 3. Zarin right on the bumper of Pete Loria, and now Wachter right on the tail of Zarin. Wachter may be looking to the inside again into turn 3. Poningbar still 4th in the 16. 55 Wee Willie White has a lot of folks in his rearview mirror as well as he runs 5th. Down the back straightaway. Still Pete Loria. John Poningbar in the 16 for a moment looking to the outside of Rick Wachter's 93X, but can't make any ground there. He's still 4th. Pete Loria, the Tonydale BP Auto Trader 11 is your leader. The number 1 Conquering West 1C of Jim Zarin running 2nd. Cars together in the 4th turn. 64 Andy Catellus, 51 Ron O'Patchin, parked to the inside of the racetrack. The yellow is out. Off the fourth turn, the green is out. Pete Laurie, your leader, on the outside, and he'll take the lead and maintain that lead as he heads into turn one. Jim Zarin still second. John Ponigfar in the 16 takes over third. 93X Rick Walker fourth, and Ralph Highsong Jr. in the 09 moving into fifth. Tony Dell BP Auto Trader 11 of Pete Laurie, running the high side of the Speedway, continues to set the pace. Jim Zarin once again closing in on Lauria. Looks to the inside down the front straightaway. Past the halfway point, 6 laps to go. Off of 4, Jim Zarin again to the inside, trying to slingshot by, but he got her a little sideways, lost some traction, and Pete Laurie still is your leader. 5 laps to the finish. Zarin in the 1C second, 16 John Ponigfar third, Rick Walker 93X fourth, 09 Ralph Highsong runs fifth, Bob Heim is sixth, Jeff Broniszewski seventh, Russ Matique eighth, Wee Willie White ninth, and Mike Ross runs 10th. Ponigfar now tries the inside in the 16. He'll settle back into third as they exit turn 4. Pete Laurie up high in car 11. Here comes Jim Zarin in the 1C. 3 laps to go. Laurie holds him off into turn 1. Ponigfar in the 16 third, 93X Rick Walker fourth, Ralph Highsong Jr. still fifth as they exit the 4th turn. Just 2 more laps to go. Now John Ponigfar in the 16, taking a look for second into turn 3. He works to the inside. Pete Laurie down in the middle group in car 11. Jim Zarin comes underneath him off of 4. White flag. Zarin has a run. Laurie with a problem, and the yellow is out. I can see the problem. We got water all over the racetrack. Eric Kelly. Two laps to go. Pete Laurie maintains the lead on the restart. Zarin settles into second, Ponigfar third, Walker is fourth. Top 5 stay the same, but Ralph Highsong in the 09 got low. We got cars spinning. Everybody by except the 64 of Andy Catellus. He's going the wrong direction. Maybe Andy can turn her around. Apparently not. Yellow will be out. Back on the gas with 2 laps to the cash. Laurie and Zarin wheel to wheel heading into turn 1 for the lead. Zarin looks to the inside. Still wheel to wheel out of the back straightaway. What's going to happen in 3? Laurie goes in hard on the outside. Zarin tries to work underneath him. Boy, you couldn't put a dollar bill between them. A little bump. It's still Laurie, and the white flag is waving. Final lap. Pete Loria with the lead. Look out, Jimmy Jaron gets a piece of the bumper. It's still Loria holding on. Now John Pontiffar in the 16 comes flying through. We're coming to the checkered flag. The Tonydale BP Auto Trader 11 has been your leader from early on. Off the fourth turn, could it be? Down the front straightaway, career feature number 1 for Pete Loria. Checkered flag being carried around the Speedway. First career feature win. He wants to relish this moment. Pete Loria in car number 11. Don, it's always happy when you see a first-time winner, and I tell you, he sure worked hard for that one. Pete Loria in the 11.
You got some happy campers down here, Dow.
All right. Pete and his wife, Angela, are one of the big supporters of our Spectator Stock 20 that we run on the 4th of July. They were very involved in raising sponsorship money for that race. Calusi Chevrolet Gio will be presenting Pete with a trophy for his efforts this evening. All right, how about a nice hand for your Spectator Stock feature winner, Pete Loria.
Fans, while Pete's getting hugs and kisses, we're going to talk with Chuck Tiroff from Calusi Chevrolet.
Enjoyed it. It's nice to see a young man come out and win his first race. It's really exciting for everybody, and I'm sure it's real exciting for him too.
Let's talk a little bit about Calusi, where you at, and what kind of bargains you got down there.
Well, we're located in Bridgeville, right off I-79 on Washington Pike. We're real easy to get to. I've been there about 12 years. We're the oldest Chevrolet dealer in the world. Been doing business in the same town for the last 75 years. Great place to work and a great place to buy cars at.
Why don't you go over and get in a picture?
Explain it.
You got to be proud of him. He did a super job, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk.
Oh, God. You just can't believe what it is to be a wife. I was just telling someone tonight, I said, you can't win. You either get hollered at, you don't get talked to, anything, we take it. But this is worth it. It's worth it.
So you shouldn't be any hollering tonight, right?
I hope not.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Don.
I believe it's party time, gentlemen! Yeah!
Pete, what a nice night. I was just talking with your wife. It was no easy race. You and Jimmy were side by side. Anybody's ball game. You hung in there. Congratulations. Really nice.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Jimmy for running me really clean, and I was going really crazy. Them caution flags kept coming out. I never thought it would be over.
Your wife says it's hard to imagine what it's like being a wife of a racer, because I guess when things don't go good, you holler a lot. Is that true?
Yeah, I holler a lot. Not necessarily at her, but I just holler, and she happens to be there all the time hearing it.
Well, what does this mean? You'll be real nice to her this week?
Yeah, real nice.
Like maybe take her out to dinner or something?
If she wants, whatever she wants, because she puts up with a lot with us working on the car all the time, and I don't get home as much as I should for her and my son, but she never gives me any hard time, so it's great.
A beautiful night. Congratulations.
Thanks, Don.
How about a nice hand for Pete Loria?
All right, Pete, congratulations on career win number 1. Hard charger tonight is car 67, Danny Rin, John Stickley, 21, Timmy Schaefer, 44, Howie Garvin, 33, Brent Madison, the 4th. fourth turn. Doesn't work that way, boys. Try him again. Howie Garvin in the 44, ready to go again. Into the fourth turn they come. Green is out. Frank Stella grabs the early lead in car number 19. On the outside, there goes Jeff Schrum in the 51 to second. Jamie Smith in the 5. Third, Timmy Schaefer in the 21, challenging Smith as they enter turn 3. Garvin in the 44 runs 5th. Frank Stella, the advanced chiropractic number 19, your leader. Jeff Schrum second, running third now. Tim Schaefer in car 21. Smith in the 5 is 4th. Garvin in the 44 is still 5th. Through 3 and 4, it's still Frank Stella, feeling the pressure from Jeff Schrum's 51. On the outside in 2 now, Schrum tries to pull alongside down the back straightaway, side by side for the lead into turn 3. It's Jeff Schrum taking over the lead now. Frank Stella's second. Tim Schaefer is third. Jamie Smith fourth. Howie Garvin runs 5th. Then it's Jerry Frew, Brett Mattis, and John Stickley. For second now, Frank Stella the 19 trying to hold off the 21 of Timmy Schaefer. Schaefer goes to the outside of Stella in 3 and 4 as he tries to take over second. Schaefer now to second. Does he have anything for the leader, Jeff Schrum, who is leading by a half a straightaway. 13 laps remaining, 13 to go. Schrum continues to lead by about a half a straightaway with a 21 of Tim Schaefer. Frank Stella's 19 still third, the 5 of Jamie Smith fourth, and Howie Garvin in the 44 fifth. Schrum, the Greenwood Chevrolet 51, continues to set the pace here. He took the lead on lap 3 from Frank Stella. Tim Schaefer trying to track him down with 9 laps to go, and he might be making some progress. Frank Schaefer is just a bit maybe cutting into Schrum's lead, but he's got a long way to go. Stella still third, Smith fourth, and Howie Garvin runs 5th in the 44. 5 laps to go when he comes by this time. Jeff Schrum, still your leader in the 51. Tim Schaefer's 21 second. The 19 of Frank Stella in third. The 5 of Jamie Smith fourth. And running fifth, 1 lap down, the 44 of Howie Garvin. Remaining, 2 to go. Brent Madison, car 33, moving into the top 5 around the 44 of Howie Garvin. White flag for your leader, Jeff Schrum. Tim Schaefer in pursuit. The Greenwood Chevrolet 51 J&J chassis with that sports car experimental motor out of Canfield, Ohio. Making our final Busch Sprint feature event of 1993, Jeff Schrum. Tim Schaefer second. The 19 of Frank Stella will come home third. 5, Jamie Smith fourth. And the 33 of Brent Mattis will round out your top 5 finishers. And for your Busch Sprint feature winner, Jeff Schrum.
The cute here, Samantha, that Jeff, she's 2 years old. We talked earlier about the experimental heads. Apparently they're working.
Well, it seems to be going all right. We got a few little bugs to work out, but I want to thank Hoosier Tires. They worked real good tonight, and Stan Hoover, he's helped me all out a lot, and Tubby Tassine, he helped me on this engine, and my crew, Brian and Paul, and my dad, and my wife, and my little daughter here.
That's a very cute little girl. I understand she has a sister at home that's even younger.
Yeah, she'll be a year old next month, but she's a little too young to come.
Let's talk about the car. It obviously was hooking up perfect. Was it engine, tires, chassis, a combination? What do you feel gave you the advantage tonight?
Well, I got this new J&J. It's similar to the one that Dave Blaney's running, and I think that helps out a lot. And I think the engine's running good, but I don't think that's all of it. I think it's a little bit of everything. You got to have everything just right to make the package work.
The package is working. We want to congratulate you. You got 2 done. Next time you're here, we'll go for 3.
I hope to do it again.
Okay, Dow.
Thank you, Donnie. Congratulations to Jeff Schrum and all our winners and competitors here tonight. We want to thank the folks.